Greetings everybody, it's Emily from Pages and Ink, and today I'm going to be doing my book talk on Roseblood by A.G. Howard, which is a retelling twist type thing on Phantom of the Opera, and I don't have a half mask, so I just wear this one, and it looks pretty weird. I think the reason for it is you can't see my eyebrows, so it's just like, I am pale, so I have a pale mask and you just can't see my eyebrows. I think that's what bothers me about it, but it's pretty. Anyway, hello everybody. So if you don't know anything about Roseblood, this is a book that I got last month, or in January, well, this month, still, as of today. This was in my owl crate, in the January owl crate, and it's, like I said, it's a retelling, or like a twist on Phantom of the Opera, where the main character is a girl named Rune. Let me move over a little bit. Just realized my lights aren't on. Oh well, anyway, so it's about a girl named Rune who has this gift to sing pretty much, from what I understand, it's mainly like, my hair is like sticking out, because of that mask. From what I understand, it's pretty much opera, but she can like sing things that she's never heard before perfectly. And so it's a gift, but it's also a curse, because afterwards she's left really weak and sick and like she can't stand up. So I'm gonna put this right there. Okay. So Rune gets not really invited, but her aunt Charlotte finds a way to get her into this prestigious, not prestigious, but it's a like music school called Roseblood. And they're known for their music. And the reason pretty much that her mom believes that she's going there is to help her get over her stage fright, because she doesn't believe that there's something like magical to this gift, even though her father and her grandmother on her father's side both are very mystic and believe in like auras and curses and such. Her mother's like, nope, nothing, there's nothing like that. So she goes to this school and kind of automatically upstages the, not the popular girl, but like the diva pretty much. She's the one that believes that she should get special treatment because she is a descendant of Christine Daae, or it's really Christina Nielsen, I think is how it's said, who is the main female protagonist in the Phantom of the Opera, which is, there's like a book based on like real life things. I don't know if that's entirely true. I'm gonna have to do research on that part, but yeah. So she's going to the school and she kind of feels this like presence, and the first day that she comes in, she sees this boy dressed in like, not Victorian I don't think, but it was like older clothing, not for this century, so I guess Victorian. And he has a hat, well, he didn't have a half mask, but his face was like covered. So she like looks away, looks back, and he's gone. And it turns out that his name is Thorn, and he lives below Roseblood, with the actual Phantom that was the Phantom of the Opera, and his name is Eric. And he's basically Thorn's father. He rescued him when he was little from some pretty terrible situations, or a pretty terrible situation, because it was kind of just one, and kind of raises him, so he's pretty much his son. Even though they're not blood related, they still consider each other family. So Rune and Thorn end up being like, and this isn't a spoiler, it's pretty much on there, but they're what they call twin flames, so they're the two parts of one soul. But Eric has kind of like a darker purpose for Rune, so Thorn has to choose between the girl that is another part of him or his father, who he owes so much to. So it's pretty dark. There's some really dark things that occur, but Rune also makes friends there, and she does, this isn't really a spoiler because you kind of hope, but she does end up conquering her stage fright. She's able to use her gift and not feel weak or sick afterwards. But it's pretty cool to see how, like, the Phantom of the Opera, that, you know, there's a musical, I guess it's still an opera, of as well as a book. You see that story mixed in with this more current idea and put them together, and it creates this really cool, interesting story. The only thing that I did not like about this story is the fact that the author uses the term psychic vampires. Let that sink in a little bit. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, like I said, I like to keep my videos as spoiler-free as possible. But I will tell you that there is the term psychic vampires written in this book. And the reason I don't like that is because it sounds absolutely cheesy. In a book like this, you don't really want cheese mixed in with your dark. You know, it's not wine. You don't want cheese and wine in this type of situation. Because normally cheese and wine go very good together, so I'm told, because I don't like wine. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, so psychic vampires in there. I would have liked it, I mean, even if she kept the same basic concept that she uses in the book, I think it would have been better if she had created her own term for them, because just the term psychic vampire just makes me want to stop reading. But I kept going because I did like the story enough to keep reading, but it was just like, ugh, why A.G. Howard? Why? I do really like the twin flame premise. I do believe that it's very magical, and I have struggled lately with the idea of true love or soulmates because of personal situations that I'm not going to get into. I really like the character of Rune. There's only one problem I had with her character, and it was after she spends time with Thorn on the rooftop, and she doesn't really go all diva, although later on she's like, oh, I'm such a diva. It was just more of like, it seemed very conflicting to her character. But Rune, you know, she doesn't want the main role in the opera that they're going to do. She actually wants to work backstage, which I applaud, because I was a technical student person thing in high school. I worked backstage, I did props, and run crews, so I moved the sets around and I built them as well. I've done lights, but the only lighting thing that I have done is spotlight. Yeah. Lots of fun. But what she wants to do is costuming, which is actually, I feel like you don't see a lot of theater in books, and it's just kind of like, oh, my heart is happy. So I did really enjoy that she wanted to work backstage, even though she had this gift for music. Then there's Jax, who is this pretty boy that when you first meet him, you kind of automatically assume that he's going to be the hot jock that the diva goes for, which Kat, who's the diva, does like him in that way, but he is actually more interested in another character named Audrey, who has worked her butt to get to where she is, and actually has a pretty decent shot at getting the lead female role, and you're like, yay, go Audrey. She's actually pretty cool, although she doesn't actually have a very big, like, vocal part in the book. Like, she doesn't talk all that much, but she does hang out with Rune and all the other gang members like Quan and Sunny. Sunny is her, like, peer advisor who, like, shows Rune around the school in a way, and she actually becomes, like, her best friend there. And Quan is pretty much her boyfriend. So it's Jax, Quan, Audrey, and Rune. And while Rune is kind of hesitant to really make them her friends at first because of things that had happened in her past, she kind of does get by it, and she's like, you know, they're pretty cool. I think I want to be friends with them. There's also this really creepy club that's in this book that the inside is actually pretty cool. It's a cool premise, but the reason for it is kind of odd, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because, again, spoilers. But just keep in mind that the door to the destination pretty much is a morgue, so keep that in mind. Like I said, it's creepy. There are some dark things in this book. There's also a very, I'm trying to think of the word. There's a tomcat named Diable, or Diable, Diable, E-V-L-E, which is, you know, devil. And then there's a swan named Ange, which is actually Angel, and she's like this beautiful red swan that I believe shouldn't exist, but she is Eric's familiar. And the cat has no master, but he's just waltzing around the school. He's actually a pretty interesting cat, because he can unlock locks with his claws by hanging on the doorknob and like use it. He's like a person. It's kind of interesting. There are some weird mannequins, and there's this beautiful like underwater greenhouse type thing, and there's an old chapel. So there's a lot of different really cool elements to this story. And I actually realized that I have not written my review yet, which is why a lot of this is just coming off the top of my head at the moment. So I was planning on rating it 4.5. I do remember that, and I do think I still stick by 4.5 stars out of 5. 5 out of 5, just because to me, it was really good. The writing is incredibly descriptive. There is character development, because while Rune she doesn't necessarily have stage fright, but she does kind of learn to like her music again, and she does actually get more confident in and of herself, and she learns to lean a little bit more on her friends, and she learns about herself. Thorn kind of grows as a person because he realizes that he doesn't want to spend his life under Roseblood. He wants to be out in the world, and he doesn't quite know where that is, but he does have this veterinary skill. He works really well with animals, and he kind of acts as a doctor for like the forest animals, which is kind of cool. So yeah, there's a lot to this book. A lot of it is actually really dark, but I did really enjoy it, so 5 out of 5, and I think that's it. I need to write my Goodreads/Tumblr reviews and put them up. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I have for you today. Hopefully later this week I will either have a book talk on Night Circus so this and my favorite Friday videos that I do every Friday. So I will have those for you later. You're getting a lot of videos this week. But I will see you guys very soon. I love you guys so much. It always means so much when you watch my videos, and happy reading.